That skull had a tongue in it, and could sing once. How the knave jowls it to the ground as if it were Cain's jawbone that did the first murder. Might be the pate of a politician which this ass now o'erreaches, one that would circumvent God. Did not?
It might, my lord.
Or of a courtier which could say, Good morrow, sweet lord, how dost thou, good lord? This might be my lord such a one that praised my lord such a one's horse when he meant to beg it. Might it not?
Aye, my lord.
Why, and so. And now my lady Worms, chapless and knocked about the mazzard with a sexton's spade. Here's fine revolution, and we got the trick to see it. These bones cost no more the breeding but to play at lockets with them? I'd ache to think on it.
Pickaxe and a spade, and a shrouding sheet. Oh, a pit of clay for to be made, for such a guest is meet.
There's another. May not that be the skull of a lawyer? Be his quiddities now, his quillets, his cases, his tenures, and his tricks. Why does he suffer this rude knave now to knock him about the sconce with a dirty shovel, and will not tell him of his action of battery? This fellow might be in his time a great buyer of land. His statutes, his recognizances, his fines, his double vouchers, his recoveries. Is this the fine of his fines and the recovery of his recoveries? Have his fine pate full of fine dirt? Will his vouchers vouch him no more of his purchases, and double ones too, than the length and breadth of a pair of indentures? The very conveyances of his lands will hardly lie in this box. And must the inheritor himself have no more? Huh?
Not a jot more, my lord.
Is not parchment made of sheepskins?
Aye, my lord, and of calf skins too.
They are sheep and calves, which seek out assurance in that. I will speak to this fellow. Whose gray's this, sir?
Ah, mine, sir. A pit of clay for to be made, for such a guest is meet.
I think it be thine indeed. Thou liest in it.
You lie out on, sir, and therefore it is not yours, but for my part, I do not lie in it, and yet it is mine.
Well, thou dost lie in it, to be in it, and say it is thine. 'Tis for the dead, not for the quick. Therefore, thou liest.
'Tis a quick lie, sir. 'Twill away again from me to you.
What man dost thou dig it for?
Oh, no man, sir.
What woman then?
For none neither.
Who is to be buried in it?
One that was a woman, sir, but rest her soul, she is dead.
How absolute the knave is. We must speak by the card, or equivocation will undo us. By the Lord, Horatio, these 3 years I have taken a note of it. The age is grown so picked that the toe of the peasant comes so near the heel of the courtier he gaffs his kibe. How long hast thou been a grave maker?
Of all the days in the year, I came to it that day that our last king Hamlet overcame Fortinbras.
How long is that since?
Cannot you tell that? Every fool can tell that. It was the very day that young Hamlet was born, he that was mad sent to England.
Aye, Mary, why was he sent to England?
Why? Because he was mad. He shall recover his wits there, or if he do not, it's no great matter there.
Why?
Why? Because 'twill not be seen in him there. There the men are as mad as he.
How came he mad?
Oh, very strangely, they say.
How strangely?
Faith in losing his wits.
On what ground?
Why, here in Denmark. I have been sexton here, man and boy, 30 years.
How long will man lie in the earth ere he rot?
Faith, if he be not rotten before he die, as we have many pocky corpses nowadays that will scarce hold the lying in, he will last you some 8 year or 9 year. A tanner will last you 9 years.
Why he more than another?
Why, sir, his hide is so tanned with his trade that he will keep out water a great while. And your water is a sore decayer of your whoreson dead body. Here's a skull now. This skull has lain in the earth 23 years.
Whose was it?
A whoreson mad fellow's was it. Whose do you think it was?
Nay, I know not.
A pestilence on him for a mad rogue. I poured a flagon of Rhenish on my head once. This same skull, sir, was Yorick. Yorick's skull, the king's jester.
This? This? This?
You not.
Let me see. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times. Now how abhorreth in my imagination it is. My gore rins at it. Here hung those lips that I have kissed I know not now how oft. Where be your jibes now? Your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment that were wont to set the table on a roar? Not one now to mock your own grinning, quite chapfallen? Now you get to my lady's chamber and tell her, let her paint an inch thick, to this favor must she come. Make her laugh at that. Prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing.
What's that, my lord?
Dost thou think Alexander looked at this fashion in the earth?
E'en so.
And smelt so? Ah,
E'en so, my lord.
to what base uses we may return, Horatio? Why not imagination trace the noble dust of Alexander till he find it stopping a bunghole?
'Twere to consider too curiously to consider so.
No faith, not a jot, but to follow him thither with modesty enough and likelihood to lead it, as thus. Alexander died, Alexander was buried, Alexander returneth into dust. Dust is earth. Of earth we make loam. And why of that loam, whereto he was converted, might they not stop a beer barrel? Imperious Caesar, dead and turned to clay, might stop a hole to keep the wind away. Oh, that earth which kept the world in awe should patch a wall to expel the winter's flaw. Soft, soft, here comes the king. Queen, courtiers, who is this they follow? With such maimed rites, this doth betoken the corpse they follow did with desperate hand fordo its own life. Was of some estate. Couch we a while, and mark.
What ceremony else?
That is Laertes, a very noble youth. Mark.
Oh, what ceremony else?
Her obsequies have been so as far enlarged as we have warranties. Her death was doubtful, and but that great commander sways the order, she should in ground unsanctified have lodged till the last trumpet for charitable prayers. Shards, flints, and pebbles should be thrown at her. Yet here she is allowed her virgin prance, her maiden instruments, and the bringing home of bell and burial.
Must there no more be done?
What will be done? We should profane the service of the dead to sing a requiem, and such rest to her as to peace parted souls.
Lay her in the earth, and from her fair and unpolluted flesh may violets spring, I tell thee, churlish priest. Oh, ministering angel shall my sister be, when thou liest howling.
Fair Ophelia.
Sweets to the sweet, farewell. I hoped thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride bed to have decked, sweet maid, not I have strewed thy grave.
Oh, treble woe fall, 10 times treble on that cursed head, whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of. Hold off on the earth a while, till I have caught her once more in mine arms. Yeah. Now, pile your dust upon the quick and dead, till of this flat a mountain you have made, to o'ertop old Pelion, or the skyish head of blue Olympus.
What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis? What phrase of sorrow conjures the wandering stars and makes them stand like wonder-wounded heroes? This is I, Hamlet the Dane.
The devil take thy soul!
It's not well. I prithee take my fingers from my throat. Although I am not splendid and rash, but I have had me something dangerous, which let thy wiseness fear. Hold off thy hand.
Pluck them asunder.
Hamlet, Hamlet!
Gentlemen,
Good, my lord, be quiet.
Why, I will fight with him upon this theme until my eyelids will no longer wag.
Oh, my son, what theme?
I loved Ophelia. 40,000 brothers could not, with all their quantity of love, make up my sum. What wilt thou do for her?
Oh, he is mad, Laertes.
Oh, for the love of God, forbear him.
Swoons, show me what thou wilt do. Would weep? Would fight? Would fast? Would tear thyself? Would drink up easily to crocodile? I'll do it. Dost thou come here to whine? To outface me with leaping in her grave? Be buried quick with her, and so will I. And if thou prate of mountains, let them throw millions of acres upon us, till our ground, singeing his pate against the burned zone, make us like a wart. Nay, in foul mouth, I'll rant as well as thou.
This is mere madness. And thus a while the fit will work on him, anon as patient as the female dove. When that her golden couplets are disclosed, his silence will sit drooping.
Hear you, sir. What is the reason that you use me thus? I loved you ever. But it is no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will mew, and dog will have his day.
I pray you, good Horatio, wait upon him. Strengthen your patience in our last night's speech. We'll put the matter to the present push. Good Gertrude, set some watch over your son. This grave shall have a living monument. An hour of quiet shortly shall we see. Till then, in patience our proceeding be.
Made, for such a guest is meet.